So this is some of my work with client horses over the last few weeks. This is a 4-year-old named Duke. I am starting him under saddle, and right here we are working with the mounting block where I have the cone set out in front of him, and it's just a target that he touches and he stands there while I practice mounting, and this just helps him to stand quietly at the mounting block, which is a really important behavior to learn, and it also takes off the pressure of the mounting block by making it more entertaining and interesting because the cone is right there, and it's a behavioral that he learned how to be comfortable with and offer before we started working at the mounting block. And when he gets pushy and goes for any of my pockets like that, we just wait. He got distracted by horses running around in the field, and now he's looking at me waiting for instructions. So I help them out by leading them back to the cone if they kind of get distracted, especially as youngsters, and then go back to where I am, and then I wait for him to touch it again, and we're just hanging out again. He's looking at the horses in the field, and then we click and reward. And the cone is really only there to just help provide him somewhere to direct his energy. And I really like it because it works really well for horses who can be impatient and like to move around a lot. And Duke is one of those. He likes to move around and he doesn't love standing still. So it's really good practice, and this helps create horses who stand really well at the mounting block. The mounting block is one of the most important behaviors to train, so I really like to take my time with this one because having a horse who's quiet for mounting and dismounting also translate to how they are under saddle. So we're practicing this here again. I have my little target stick just stuck into the cone there. He also will touch the cone as a target, but it's easier for me to have the target stick there because then I can grab it and go when I get on him, and we also use it for teaching under saddle cues. And then once I'm on him, I first start out with a header on the ground with the target stick, and what we're doing is pairing riding cues, like tactile pressure cues, like squeezing with your legs, to following the target. And for a horse who is very quiet and not super sensitive to pressure like Duke, I would say this is one of the best ways of teaching them tactile cues, because the amount of pressure you would have to use to get him to respond to just pressure and release would be too much in my opinion, and it would be too stressful. This is him without a header a couple days after that initial session, and as you can see, he's leading around and he's responding to rein aids and he's responding to leg aids. It's really easy to use the target to help them turn from rein aids as well, because you can just get the target to help influence that movement in the first place and then reward them immediately when they move and release the pressure at the same time, and then they learn this tactile cue that, hey, when I have the target left, I turn my head left and I move. And not all pressure cues need to be taught using negative reinforcement. This is a great way to do it for horses that don't respond as quickly to pressure. This is Sugar, an adorable little POA pony that I have here for training so that I can get her sold and marketed. So she's here to get a sales ad made. I have a student coming out to ride her for her little sales ad, and she's super adorable. She's about 12-1, and I'm right on the cusp of just being under the 20% rule, so I can ride her, but I look really ridiculous. So she's definitely going to be going to a kid, not an adult, but she is so adorable and so cute and just so fun to have around. I'm a huge fan of Sugar. She's like being able to play with like an oversized dog. Like she's just the sweetest little thing, like a little Muppet. So yeah, if anyone has a kid looking for a pony, Sugar is a supremely adorable POA pony that's going walk, trot, canter, and over fences, and she's gone to some little shows and been ridden quite often by children. So she will make a really cute little show pony, and she's at the stage now where a competent kid could continue riding her and finish her experience as she continues to develop as a show pony. So she will be a really fun project for someone. She is honestly the sweetest thing ever. I really like her. She's got an incredible personality and just really, really enjoys being around people. So over the next few days, I will be getting the rest of her sales video together and then getting her listed for anyone who might be interested. She'll be posted on my Facebook pages and my Instagram and whatnot, and I'll probably upload her sales video to YouTube here. But yeah, she's looking for a nice home to have her own kid. She'd really like it. She'd stand around being groomed all day and just loves having friends and hanging out with people. So she'll make someone a really fun little pet, I think. And this client is Luna, a Elizateno quarter horse cross mare that I have in for training to deal with some reactivity under saddle. She just held a lot of tension and then she would get reactive at the canter. So what I've been working on with her is a lot of quietness and calmness, and this is one of the first couple times that I'd gotten on her. I rode her bitless, even though she'd typically been ridden in a bit, just because I wanted to make a complete change. And for horses who can get overbent and kind of get too forward and then get really, really like constricted and put together when you try to bring them back. I find bitless bridles are easier to half halt them on. And as you can see here, she's very tense and not super happy. So what I was working on is trying to make her happy. And we did several days of groundwork and then just this short session where I got on her bareback just to see. And doing groundwork in the arena to counter condition her anxiety in the arena was really just rewarding her for standing quietly and letting her hand graze around the perimeter of the arena until she started to quiet down, and it really helped bring her energy level down. So now you can see in this clip, she's less tense than she was in the first clip, but a lot less tense in the first couple of days that she came into the arena for groundwork. And it's just about gradually improving that. So, and to get her half halts better as well, the clicker and rewarding is really great because I can half halt her and say whoa and then click and reward, and she's gotten to the point now where when you say that whoa, she stops right away. So it's a really good way to help slow them down because she kind of just gets too quick and then her rhythm keeps speeding up, and then she gets upset and frustrated when she has to keep getting half halted. Now this is a more recent clip when I've transitioned her to a bit. She's wearing the bomber blue flexible mullen in a bow shade cheek piece, which I find works really well for sensitive horses. She's still carrying more tension in this clip, but there was deers in the adjacent field, so that kind of set a lot of horses off, and she handled it excellently when she definitely would have been way over threshold in previous days or weeks towards that. So I was really happy with how she handled it overall. What I do want to work on is just continuing to get her to stretch out more and lower her neck rather than cranking and kind of really curling her neck without stretching and poking that nose out. So we're trying to get a low, stretched, quiet frame so that she can start to develop the correct muscling in her top line and to let go of a lot of the tension that she's been carrying. It also helps her with cantering more quietly when she stretches, and then she needs to kind of sit back on her hind end more so that she's not running as much on the forehand at the canter. Another day just playing with the adorable little Sugar because I like her so much and she is so sweet. She is just the most fun to be around. It's hard to have this pony in front of you and not smile because she's just that stinking cute. This is Duke and we're just playing with the target stick. He went to the cone first, so he was further behind me than he was supposed to be. So I called him and he came trotting over and then we reward it. And yeah, I kind of just like playing with the target on the ground before because it makes it easier. And then you can also link the vocal upward cues for trot to the target stick before you get on. So it's fun to play with them on the ground first. And then with Luna, again, the priority is just getting her to stretch and develop a better rhythm because she did have a tendency to really rush at the trot, and then her rhythm would kind of go between going really slow and then taking lots of quick little steps, all while wanting to really hyper flex and kind of curl too much through the neck if you half halt her because she doesn't like being half halted. So I really try to stay out of her face and use my body and my seat to slow her down. And if I do have to half halt her, it's an immediate release right away so that she hopefully will take that half halt stretch forward and realize that I'm not all up in her business. I'm way happier with her rhythm now, and I'm happier with how much more she is offering a stretch, and her overall change in demeanor and general quietness is quite a lot better, but there definitely still is tension there that we are working on. So getting her to change that head and neck position and defer to stretching and sticking her nose out, that will come as she releases tension and relaxes more, and it'll also help her in turn continue to release tension because it's a more comfortable position to carry, and it will help her develop her back and her top line and her neck in a manner that makes it easier to carry a person. We've been doing shorter stints of canter because I think most of the canters worked on at the trot, but her canter is a lot better. I've had no reactivity. I want her to sit on her hind end more and get a better rhythm at the canter, but that will come as she develops strength. And a lot of the work that we're doing at the trot is facilitating improving her canter. So I think that's an important thing to acknowledge, is that honestly, when you're trying to fix a horse's canter and get them to be less rushy or reactive or this or that at the canter, a lot of that work is done at the walk and the trot and on the ground. So that's what we're working on. I'm happy that she's not been reactive at the canter, but we're still doing short stints. Here's a sneak peek at the new rose gold bridles that we'll be releasing in the next little while. This is the rose gold Harlow bridle. I think they're super cute, and Duke models it really well. Duke is also wearing the Birch Please saddle pad that's available on my website. You can check that out. And then here's Luna in the Harlow Rose Gold as well as the Birch Please saddle pad. There's limited quantities of these remaining and they're not going to be restocked, the saddle pads, so I highly recommend checking them out. And we have lots more, so if you want to check those out at the link down below in my description, there is lots of stuff available. And I've also released a new line of sweaters as well. So this is the sweater that I've released. It features Banksy, and it's just done as like a meme just for fun, and then we're donating partial proceeds to rotating homelessness charities in Canada. You can check it out for just $48 Canadian or $37 US.